It is a Monday, and it is time for Monday Mirages. Stuff happens over the weekend, and guys will take it and come up with a different story, a different way to see whether or not it's real or shouldn't happen.
Yeah, does it have staying power, or is it just a one-week flash? Monday Mirages, first one, real or mirage, the New York Giants' loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers is something to be concerned about.
It absolutely is something to be concerned about, mainly because of the fact that the way they lost. They couldn't run the football. Eli doesn't get Victor Cruz even his one catch for 40 yards that we said you can pencil in every time. Just all in all, it just was a bad outing. A team that you could have really showed you belonged at the table with, and you didn't get it done.
All the things that we've questioned, even on a 6-game winning streak for the Giants, all popped up. Lack of a running game for the Giants, Eli Manning forcing throws to tight ends, and now new problems have emerged, like Jason Pierre-Paul's health. The running game, allowing the first running back to get over 100 yards on the ground this season. There are new problems, and I don't know how they're going to get fixed. I don't know how you make Eric Flowers no longer hold in the end zone or get busted for penalties. I don't know if you can go grab a tight end off the street and get you more production. Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, and others are not going to play for the New York Giants this season. So I'm with you, Levack. I think it's a real concern for the Giants, and especially with some good teams still left on their schedule and a good NFC that someone could catch up to them possibly, depending on how it all works out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to, beat a dead horse here, but this was the game. Like, of all the games, show me you can play 4 quarters of football. You don't show up on the point. You don't score for the first half. You have nonsense between OBJ and the referees. Eric Flowers, as you mentioned, his game is sloppy at best. Can you win 2 more games? Of the 4 remaining, can you win 2 more? Because you can't go 8-3. You can't win 6 straight and not make the playoffs.
Right now, the Giants would be in the playoffs. Right now, the Giants would be in. So that moves us to number 2. Real or mirage, the loss to the Oakland Raiders ended the Buffalo Bills' playoff chances.
They're done. It's over. Look, the Bills had a chance, but it's not going to happen because not only did they lose to the Raiders, AFC opponent, they just Zach Bye earlier today said they don't look like they know how to win. They had the Raiders against the ropes. They gave up 29 unanswered points to lose the game, by 2 touchdowns. So there's just something about that Rex team that just doesn't really make sense, whether it be the injuries or is it just the team as itself can't control itself. I don't know what it is, but they're done. That was, that may not have put them officially out of the running, but it dropped them down significantly to 10. They can't. They've got between them and that 6th playoff spot.
And this is the issue. Well, I'm also with you. I think it's real. Go ahead and lay out who's ahead of them right now.
Tennessee Titans, Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins, and Denver Broncos. Those are the teams between you and the 6 right now. If it ended today, those are the teams that you have to overtake somehow, some way in the next 4 games. Can't do it. Can't do it.
It's not even so much about the Bills team this year. Could they finish 9-7? Sure. Could they go 10-6? Less likely, but they could. And even if you go 9-7 or 10-6, that still might not be good enough for you to get in the playoffs because of all those teams you laid out. You're in a situation where it's you win and need help. Right. It's a spot you never want to be in sports. You have to rely on other people's failures for your success. That's how the Buffalo Bills are this season. So I'm with you. Yeah. That loss ends it for them.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's coming alive. Miami can run the football. And then you got the AFC West.
And they play Pittsburgh and Miami, so they're going to have matchups against both those teams. But still, I don't consider the Bills the favorites in either of those matchups.
If they win both those games, they still have to overcome 2 more teams.
Yes. All right, we're number 3 here. Real Mirage on Monday Mirages. The best 4 teams in the country are in the college football playoff.
Mirage. That's an absolute mirage. But here's the thing. I'm not mad at who they picked. Based on what I thought they were going to do, they did what I thought they were going to do. Do you honestly want me to tell you that I believe Michigan would lose to Washington or Clemson on a neutral field? I'm not even convinced they'd lose to Ohio State again. I'm not convinced they lost to Ohio State this time. and also Penn State and USC. I think they're better than Washington. Both of them.
USC beat Washington, right?
Right. So I'm saying, the 4 teams that fit the criteria, real. The best 4 teams in the country, Mirage.
Oh, man, that's a really good case, especially for Michigan. That's what's killing me about this one is that I feel the same way about Michigan.
Is it just that Michigan's so enticing, though, because of Harbaugh, or are they really that good?
I thought the same thing, but then I watch him play against Ohio State, and it goes to double overtime on the road with a quarterback all week long. We didn't think it was even going to play, and they almost beat Ohio State. And they've beaten Wisconsin. They beat Penn State by close to 40 points during the season. They beat Colorado, who was a team that was playing for a Pac-12 and a Rose Bowl bid this past weekend. Do I think, like you said, do I think Michigan could beat Washington, Clemson, or Ohio State on a neutral field? Yes. But is their resume as good as Washington, Clemson's, and Ohio State's? The answer is no. I'm going with real. I think they got it right. I'm glad.
Really?
I'm glad Penn State is out of it. I didn't want to see Penn State, a 2-loss team, jump a Power 5 team who won their conference with 1 loss, and the 1 loss to USC, who's played in the Rose Bowl. I'm fine with this top 4.
See, Clemson's my problem, because if I was going to do the 4 teams that I think would win the most games, like if I just said, okay, here's my 4 horsemen of the college football apocalypse, and they're going to play a different, you can all play them every week. I don't know who they would lose to. It's Bama, Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State.
3 Big Ten teams.
But I'm just saying, like, if you, like, realistically, like, let's do it. You love the pro wrestling style. Who's beating them? Like, they'll take all comers. All 4 of them will stand there in the ring. You
and
slide
they
in
each
and
other up.
Right. At the end, they have to face each other eventually.
Real or Mirage here. The New York Yankees signing Matt Holliday was a good move.
That's real. It's real for 2 reasons. You need some veteran leadership. You need a DH on the team. He checks all those boxes. I'm more in love with this signing because of what it means they didn't do. This means that they didn't go overpay and give an extended contract to Edwin Encarnacion. Like, if they had done that, then all of a sudden, who are you again? Are you a team that is rebuilding? Are you a team that's reloading? Do you know who you are? Because that's been my biggest problem with this team. Is it's almost like they had an identity crisis last year, and then out of it, they finally woke up and went, we're rebuilding. We're rebuilding, but we're rebuilding in such a way that this product's going to be done before you think it is. You go get Edwin. It's not. Like, now it's like, okay, no, we're bona fide contenders. No, you're not. Not yet.
That's a great way to put it, because we're watching a little bit of construction here today at Phillies.
Right.
Reconstructing before we wanted it done. So
right.
It's almost like we just watched them fixing it, and then we walk back in and it's all done.
It's done.
Whoa. It was supposed to be that
It's supposed to be a month. Right, yeah, no.
That's what happened with the Yankees. I like the Matt Holliday move because he's going to be a DH. Can he still hit? Can he provide offense?
Backup first base? How many years have they gone into the season without a real backup first baseman?
A long time. Greg Bird gets hurt, but hopefully he'll be ready to go this season. But he is a solid backup first baseman if you need him. I like the move, too. Real or Mirage, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a playoff contender.
You've been dying to ask this one.
For years I have.
If the season ended today, one of my least liked phrases, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be the 6th seed.
Not only that, they go out, they've beaten the Seahawks, they've beaten the Chargers, and now NBC has flexed the Buccaneers into a Sunday night game on December 18th against the Cowboys. They've taken out Pittsburgh and Cincinnati for that game.
Well, all right, so here's who's left. Saints, very winnable game. At the Cowboys, no, you're going to lose that. At the Saints, also a winnable game, a little tougher. And then the Panthers, who are an absolute dumpster fire. You could take 2 or 3 of these remaining games. And, it's not like anybody's running away with your division, so you have a shot not just for the wild card if you're the Bucs. You actually have a shot at the division still.
That's right. The Falcons right now, Buccaneers are tied, but the Falcons have the tiebreaker because they've beaten them head-to-head this season. Of course. So is that a real out of you, by the way?
That is a real.
Yeah.
That is a real.
Yeah.
They're real. I mean, they're in. Like you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like the college football top 4. You were in, you held serve, you get to stay. You're in, you hold serve, you get to stay.
They've become the Washington of the NFL. Just do what you have to do. Don't screw up anything. People are going to be rooting and questioning how good you are, but you're going to be in the mix.
And by the time you play Dallas, I don't know what they have left to play for, to be honest.
They've already clinched the playoffs, and if they take down the Giants, they may. My math adds up. The division's done too, and I don't know who's going to catch them for the home field advantage in that
Seattle or possibly Detroit. Possibly.
So I'm going real as well. You laid out the schedule there. Jameis Winston, Dirk Cutter, everyone. I got questions about it Sunday. About Lovie Smith right?
I picked them as a playoff team before the season, and they've let me down horrendously most of the year. But
they have a Buccaneers?
Yeah.
Playoff team before the season?
Yeah.
Man, I liked you a lot more than I realized. You're such a smart guy, Levack.
But they made me look dumb most of the year, though.
Yeah, especially in primetime games. They're getting blown out on Thursday against the Falcons, barely beating the Panthers. But they're in the mix, and Giants fans, be careful. Watch some Buccaneer games, because that could be the team in Week 16, 17, that if the Giants start to fall off, the Buccaneers could slip into that spot and take that spot. Final one here, Real or Mirage, Westworld on HBO is the best show on television.
Wow, that's tough. I'm gonna go Mirage. I like it, but I watched it last night, and it kind of went a little too haywire for me last night. I think I'm still a Walking Dead dude. I think it's still Walking Dead is just a little bit better. So I'm gonna go Mirage, not because it's bad, just because I don't know if I'm going to be able to wait for the second season for them to answer all the questions I want answers to. And some of the answers, are you caught up?
Here's what happened with me with Westworld. The trailer for that show was awesome. I'm like, I cannot wait to watch it. I have not watched a single episode. I will be having a binge weekend either this Saturday. I'll probably say 2 Saturdays from now. I'm just going to binge on it. I'm going to be one of those weekends where I'm going to watch it all in one weekend.
So here's the first 5 or 6 episodes I think are amazing. But then it's almost like when you get to the end of the season, it's like okay, we're getting ready for the 10th episode. Well, that's the finale. I don't have 6 more episodes to figure this out. Okay, just start tying things together. Just make it work. Just figure out where it goes. And it almost seems too convenient the way they finished it.
I like A House of Cards. That's my show. But the reason I bring up Westworld is that it's now hit the Orange is the New Black, House of Cards, Stranger Things conversation. I get that's a lot of Netflix.
Very cool.
Right, that's all Netflix, but you get the hey, have you watched this show? And everyone's talking about it. It's hit that level now, Westworld. That's why I bring it up.
I very much like Flash.
You like the CW?
Yeah.
Nice. Do you see what Rusty tweeted in during the show, by the way? This may be the greatest tweet we have ever had. Rusty's Photoshop job he has done. It is a picture of me. Of course, my nickname is Ghazi Bear. That was self-given. In a Fozzie Bear costume, and then Harambe, the deceased gorilla, next to me. And says, Harambe loved Ghazi Bear, you plus me, with a heart on a rock. This is incredibly done.
I think you and Live on Location Harambe should reenact this picture.
Look at this. Look at this, Kyle. This is incredible. Go check it out at Tom Goz, TOMGOZZ, right now on Twitter if you want to learn how to do Photoshop from our pal, the Mental Recession Rusty.
That's so disturbing. It's so disturbing.
No, that is real, by the way. That's definitely disturbing. That's definitely real.
Yes. There is Monday Mirages.